Welcome to the Pool Nation podcast, where it's all pool talk. And we ain't talking about netting and jetting or splashing and dashing. We're talking about becoming a nation of pool pros. We talk about the latest products, trends, and training in the pool industry. Now let's welcome your host, with over a decade of industry insider experience and still the reigning champion of Marco Polo, Edgar De Jesus, and his co-host, John J.J. Flawless, the fastest netter in the West, and Zach the Pool Boy Nicholas.
Welcome, everyone, to the Pool Nation Live podcast. I am your host, Edgar De Jesus, and yes, I am the reigning champion of Marco Polo, along with John J.J. Flawless, the fastest netter in the West, and the famous Zach, the Pool Boy Nicholas. Today, we share our stories and experiences from the Western Pool and Spa Show, and we can't wait to get started. I want to welcome everyone to our live podcast, the podcast where it's all pool talk, and we ain't talking about netting and jetting or splashing and dashing. We're talking about becoming a nation of pool pros. And yes, we will talk about the latest products, trends, and training in the pool industry. But before we get started today, I want to thank our sponsors for this podcast, the SPPA, Ultimate Pool Tools, Pool Invoice, Blu-ray, Aquastar Pool Products, Natural Chemistry, Raypack, and our friends at Heritage Pool Supply. We want to thank them for their continued support. Mr. Zacharias, what's going on? Good morning.
Well, I just want to congratulate you because you did it. You accomplished it.
Nothing but power, baby.
For
Nothing but
those
power
of you
today.
that don't know, I'm very pre-planned and thoughtful, and Edgar has been slowly weaning me off of that. And today, you're gonna get Zach the Pool Boy unscripted, so we're gonna see how this goes because I have absolutely no notes.
This is definitely raw, unedited, right? Unprepared. We're just ready to roll today.
It's like every week, it's like the notes came in, closer and closer and closer today. I think it was like 7 minutes before.
Well, I think you said you wanted to be like John a little bit more. You're like, John, I really like how you're off the cuff and I kind of want to be able to do that. And so
I do.
I took that as Edgar, I need your help and I need you to wean me off, right? So that's kind of what the plan has been, right, John?
Well, here's the irony of it all. Um, Today I actually don't, and I kind of have a headache, right? And I'm not be my usual talkative self, so I'm going to be heavily relying on Zach to talk today.
It's part of the
And
strategy.
yeah, so I think it all worked out for a reason here. So this is going to be quite the show, I'm sure.
It was like 20-minute show, bunch of one-liners from Zach,
right,
and then we're out.
right, right. Zach is like the words when I talk.
How'd you like the Western? Good. That's all you
Good.
got? Yep, it was good.
That's good.
it.
Let me punt. Good.
So, hey, John, before I jump in and I ask you how you're doing today, I do want to give a big, huge shout out today to our boy Zach. It was his birthday yesterday. So, Mr. Zacharias, happy birthday. We're already
Thank
getting
you.
people on the chat over here. Benny saying happy late birthday, Zachy Boo.
Thank you.
Jeanette, Maria, big, huge shout out to everybody out there. And Zach, happy birthday.
Appreciate it. I'm
Yeah.
deciding not to celebrate those anymore after this year, so.
Yeah.
Oh, you've reached that point now?
Yeah, I
I
reached
stopped
it
about
this
a
year, but
decade
Edgar
ago.
spoiled it.
Dude, you're
A
like
little-
30 years old.
Yeah.
John, he's like 30 years old.
He is. I know.
I'll take it.
He just turned 30-ish. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
beginning.
Sheesh. Can't even say
We were
he's
just-
close to 40.
What did we say when we talked on the phone yesterday? We're like, God, I remember those days, right? I wish I was 30. But oh man, oh yes, yeah. Happy birthday, my friend. And look, and not only that, but yesterday was a transformation for you because I don't think anybody noticed, or was it just? But and Edgar, I was surprised you didn't anything, and I kind of left it there. But did you see my my new Instagram posting skills yesterday? No,
I didn't. I
you
didn't. What'd
didn't.
you do? No.
Well, when you apparently Zach is, because he's grown up now. He's Zach the pool, not the pool boy, but Zach the pool. Did you see it?
Zach the Pool?
No.
Yeah. When you said that birthday post, go look at it. It says Zach the pool.
I'm looking at it. I'm going there right now.
And then when I reposted it, I edited it and I put boy underneath, right? Fancy of me that I figured that out. It took me like 10 minutes to figure out how to do it, because every time I put the text, it disappeared and I didn't know what the hell was going on, but I updated it, but nobody reshared mine. Everybody reshared Zach the Pool. So I don't know if it was like an inside joke or something that I missed, but Zach is no longer the pool boy. It's Zach the Pool. Look, do you see it?
I'm looking it up right now. So is it on your stories?
Well, I think
Zach
so.
the Pool.
Zach the
Yeah.
Pool. Did you see it now? And I'm like, what the hell's going on here, dude?
Am I gonna get fired now?
Yeah, it's just
That's awesome.
It just goes to we just repost anything we send, right? You know what I mean? More careful, because I don't. If God forbid you do something about me, who knows what you're gonna put? But Zach the Pool.
Oh, shoot, that
Yeah, that
is
was pretty funny.
hilarious.
Do you see it?
Yeah.
Oh, I totally see it. Holy
Yeah.
crap! Totally caught.
The pool. So
But
that
see,
was,
nobody else caught it but John, and he didn't
yeah.
even say anything about it.
And he
I did it.
edited it. I think he's ready to edit the
That's-
episodes and the videos.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
so-
saying. And I was
so,
like
John,
super
you're-
proud.
You're moving up, bro.
Yeah, man, I am. Look,
I like
I
your
leveled
style.
up. I love
Yeah. Oh, you totally leveled up.
Zach
So-
the Pool.
So how you doing to this morning, John?
You know, I'm feeling a little better now that we're talking, but I'm a little slow this morning. My body hurts. I don't know. We were talking about getting old earlier, and I think the adrenaline from the show, right, and all is finally kind of caught up to me, because the day after the show, maybe I was still riding that high and I was still doing well, but feels like it all came crashing down this morning.
Is that the night that you went to bed at like 8:30 and woke up the next morning at 9?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zach, he's like, I wasn't tired. I was good after the show. I just
Yeah.
slept from like 8
Yeah,
to,
but-
which if anybody that knows John, if John goes
Yeah.
to bed at 9 o'clock, either we're at
Yeah.
the end of the world or something's completely
Right,
wrong with him.
right,
Like,
right.
like
Something-
it's that extreme.
Yeah, because I'm up at midnight, 1 o'clock every morning. I mean, every night, just because my hair. I use that time to kind of work on life and to think of things.
And that's the time, that he sends me like memes and
Oh,
TikToks
yeah.
and just
Oh, yeah,
just to
dude.
let you know, Zach,
Yeah.
don't let him fool you. He's like in this business strategy, and trust me, people, you do not want to see John's feed. It's a wicked feed. It's like one day it's on
It is
one thing,
bizarre, dude.
the
Yeah.
next day it's on chickens, the next day I mean it's like
Yeah,
like all
Yeah.
over the place. Like one day it'll be inspirational, the other day it's it's hilarious. It's so
yeah.
it's one of those, John, where it comes by, and when I get a notification from you, it feels like to me like I'm in Vegas and I'm pulling a slot, and you don't know
You
what
have
it's going to
no
land
idea
on.
what's
You
coming,
just
right?
have no idea.
But you need to know your audience and need to
But-
cover what's on the screen, right? Make sure that it's just you and nobody else can see, because who knows what the hell's going to pop up.
Absolutely,
because-
absolutely. Because
Yeah.
God forbid what comes up, and my wife jumps up in bed and goes,
Yeah.
"What the hell are you looking at?"
Right. Oh, it's bizarre.
But you know what? It keeps us on edge, John. It
It
keeps us
does.
on edge. So
It does.
and
It is
of
interesting for
course,
sure.
it doesn't matter where I'm at. If I get something, I gotta go find an escape to go look at it. I can't go, oh, I'll
Yeah.
wait like 30 minutes till I'm done to look at it. I'm
Mhm.
like lowering the volume, turning
Right,
sideways on
you're
my
right.
phone, lowering down, looking, going.
What's going on here? And for those of you listening, let your imaginations run wild, but it's nothing crazy, but it's just odd, bizarre things that maybe see. I need interest and to kind of keep me, I don't know, keep my attention. So I think TikTok and Instagram has figured that out, and they've key to my attention, and they figured out ways to keep scrolling. I'm like, Jesus, man, what the hell is all this? Everything. Yeah, it's crazy. I can't even say it on the podcast. But
China, China figured out, John, how
yeah,
easy it
they
is to
did,
just.
dude. Oh, they got dude, like, whoa. They're the ones that
We got
that
John figured
finally
out. We're
cracked
good.
the
Let's go to
code.
the rest of the world.
Yeah, they cracked the code. Wow. And I'm sitting
Oh,
daughter too. I'm sitting to Janie, right? And it's just like, holy crap. And it's just bizarre. Yeah.
absolutely. Oh,
Anyways, but
man.
other than that, I'm doing well. Looking to recap in the show because we had what right? I think all three of us were like, wow, this is pretty awesome. And the feedback
Yeah.
we've gotten from everybody was this was the best Western show they've been a part of. Um, and I think everybody just knocked it out the park. Everybody from air volunteers, everybody that's involved, um, all the instructors, the manufacturers and vendors that were there that put on education, everybody who attended for education. We broke records and numbers. It was an all around home run. It was pretty cool and no drama.
Yeah. I do want to give a shout out over here to Mr. Steve Barnes. Good morning out there to you, Todd. Good morning to you as well. And David, good morning out there. David is saying, thanks for giving me an excuse to delay getting to my route for just a little bit longer.
Right.
Big shout out to you, David. Appreciate that.
Welcome, brother.
Yep. So, anyways, before we jump on here, I wanted to talk really quick about the Pullman University. Now we do have housekeeping notes, right? And I'm going to sound like a broken record commercial here. Alyssa Serrano, good morning. I met your husband was out there. And Alyssa, let me tell you a quick little story before I talk about the app. So, I'm walking down and I bump into Alyssa's husband, and I'm like, of course, me typical being really loud in the middle of the hallway. So everybody was lining up to go down to the classes. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? And I'm saying hi to him. And then I go down to the class. And then right then and there, I get a message from Chris Melee. And he's like, oh, thanks for saying hi to your friends and ignoring me on the other side. Well, I didn't see that he was on the other side, but he didn't say anything, right?
Yeah.
So Chris is burning me. So I'm like, oh, you want to play that game, Chris? Okay. So I turned around and came back up, and I stood in the middle of the hall and I started yelling, Chris, pool guy of the year. Yeah. And he was just like, oh
Mortified,
my
right?
God, like, what have I done? So of course, everybody in the hallway starts turning and looking and looks over and all that. And I go, so is that better, Chris? All right, give him a high five, and I take off walking down. So I think Chris will think about that one next time.
Yeah.
But anyways, Alyssa, good morning. We really missed you out there. I know that you had to keep the fort running and the kids and the business and all that. We are having the women's summit, and I believe that you're going. So looking forward to connecting with you out there. So, all right. So everybody listening, download the Pullman University app. It's the app that we created. We have the 10 classes. We actually have 12 courses on there that were taught at the Western Pool and Spa Show by the instructors that joined us to create those. So what you could do is go to either the Google or the Apple store and download the Pullman University app. You'll be able to register. You'll be able to see the courses that we taught there in Long Beach. And then, of course, there's some quizzes that you could take. There's a leaderboard. There's a submit questions on there that you can submit questions to kind of reach us, and we'll talk about those. And then the other thing is for those of you that buy from any of the Heritage Pool Supply Group and PEP and Texas Pool Supply and all their different stores, they do have a loyalty program now where you earn credit back into your account for every single purchase. So it doesn't matter what you buy, you earn a credit. And then they have Pool Tech products where you get added credit to your account. And the beauty of it is once those points become available, let's say that you have $200 worth of points, you go to check out, they'll ask you right then and there, hey, you have $200 credit. Do you want to use that now? So you could use it, you could save it up. You can go into the app, into that button, click that button and submit. And what they will do is they will sign you up for the program. It started in the West, I think California, Arizona. I think it started in that area first. And then June 1st, it'll roll out for the rest of the US. And what we tell everybody, especially when we start talking about money, we start talking about profit. That's free money that they're giving you. So definitely get on there, submit, and register for that program. So, gentlemen, I think we need to start talking about some of these instructors here that we partnered with at the Western Show. I know that Steve is on here, and we need to give him a huge shout out because he absolutely
He
crushed
knocked it
it.
out the park, right?
Oh, Steve, you just completely knocked it out of the park. And by the way, John, he threw me under the bus too in one of those slides that you guys were
Oh,
going to
dude,
do a presentation.
I heard all
You
I have
guys,
about it.
video.
and
Yeah.
Steve comes to me and he goes, Steve goes, "Oh, hey, I'm going to have you talk about what I talked about with John." And I'm like, completely clueless. I have no idea whatsoever. And then I go up to him and I go, "Don't make me talk because I have no idea what you guys are talking about, man." And he's like, "You throw everybody under the bus. It's okay. You're going under the bus." And then he just kind of continued and threw me under the bus right there in front of everybody at the class. So
But I
thank
heard
you
it
for
turned
that,
out
Steve.
well.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it. No, it went well and it was good, but to me it was like I know that there was a message that you guys wanted to deliver with regards to
Yeah, that I was at in Todd because we had that extra class that the Western asked us to do because somebody didn't show up, right? And we had that extra so I had to step out and go over there. It was a little bit unplanned, but I heard that you guys made it work. And Edgar, you did an amazing job up there pretending to talk about what I talked about the day before. Yeah,
they wanted me to be you, John.
yeah,
It's like I can't be John,
you know, you nailed
right?
it. Speaking of, look, Steven, talk about right. Amazing how he can. If there's anybody in the world that can make hydraulics teaching hydraulics sexy, it's Steve, dude. And it's usually one of those courses that kind of goes over a lot of people's heads. And even I'm sitting there listening and to some of the things that Steve's talking about, and it's just like, dude, I need full attention because we're talking about some serious stuff here. I feel like you've seen that meme where somebody starts talking about calculations, see all these numbers kind of flying up through your head, right? And you feel like you're back in school doing calculus or geometry or something. Um, uh, but to deliver that message and have fun while doing it and have so many people engage with it was quite the sight. And I was impressed, and I had nothing but great feedback um, from it. And we knew it was great because he taught the basic hydraulics, and then we came back and we did intermediate hydraulics, and the people that were at the basics came back for the intermediate, and there was more people that came there for the tougher course, but raving reviews for it. And I don't think anybody else could have put on that presentation better than himself. And I think we were just blessed all the way across. And I know I'm kind of taking the spotlight here of just the partners that we've had, as far as our instructors and them being experts in what they're teaching, right? It's not like we just picked people in the industry to start teaching courses. The people are talking about the things that they're passionate about, that they're most known about, and that they're most educated on. And it shows how and the love that they have for the industry and what they're talking about in every one of the courses that we taught. It was pretty cool. Even Laurel with the SPPA, usually insurance stuff and that kind of stuff is a little bit dry. Most people will take it that way, but it was a very conversation, and people were truly interested in it. And I think we opened up the eyes of a lot of people when they realized, hey, how important it is having insurance. And that's the type of topics that most pool guys or pool girls aren't really there to talk about or
Yeah, but
uncomfortable talking about. But
yeah, and that class was really not just about insurance, but really if you're going to go out to buy insurance, what are the key things that you need to look at, which is what we don't do, right? Like we don't
correct.
know. And it's just like home or auto, you kind of get into it and it's a deductible for this and collision and non-insured and pay out for this and pay out for that. So I think it was a great class because even I was sitting there kind of going, oh shoot, there's exclusions, right? There's things that are not covered, things that are kind of going back in. So sorry, Zach,
learned a
I know you
ton.
wanted to say something and I jumped in.
Yes. I'm just kidding. No,
Let's mute him now. Okay, good.
I learned so much through all the classes. And you know me, I'm constantly thinking, planning, how can we evolve? How can we be better? And I walked away from the show just like I need to blow it all up. I need to just blow it all up and build it back up because and a lot of it, I've talked about this before, it's all timing and situational, you know, based on events that you've gone through or things that you've experienced. You may not understand something at this moment, but as you progress and you grow, you have different experiences, and then you take a training again, and all of a sudden it starts to make more sense. But this Steve's class, I was just like, holy crap, like I've got a lot to work on. And I'm just super excited to I've been back at the drawing board since I've gotten back, just kind of planning things out. We're going to change how we check out pools, how we start up pools, different things like that. And I think the guys are all excited. They're like, what's going on around here? Because I'm just pen and paper, computer crunching.
And look, and to talk a little bit more about it, why I think, and one of the reasons why we wanted to add that course and we thought it was so important was, being a business, being maximizing on every dollar that you can bring into your company while offering a solution to your customers and giving them the best possible experience they can from you or from a company. The hydraulics was not just about learning about the way water moves, because that's important. We need to understand something before we can offer a solution, right? Before we can educate our clients, or be able to look at the pad and say, hey, we always this we need to grow by acquiring more and more company, or more and more customers, and more clients. I need to make sure I land the next account, right, and I don't lose this customer, or I get as many people as I possibly can on my client list. And we've taught that is probably not the best way of growing your business, because if you don't build a solid foundation and you don't have a good understanding and you're not doing things correctly, and you're just adding more and more customers, what you're doing is you're compounding that problem, and you're just creating more crap, right? But if you can fine tune and build a solid foundation and maximize every single client that you have, and realize that it's much more than just a monthly service fee that you're maintenance, or for or repair, or whatever they call it in the East or West Coast, um, where you can actually go back, look, there's other things that can be done, and we can capture that revenue, and at the same time offer a better experience for them. Like, hey, look, we're looking at flow rates, we're looking at the type of filtration system you have, your plumbing, right, and how can we better it? And by doing this, might cost you X amount this time, but it's going to save you so much money in the long run. And opening up just another um, source of revenue for your company, because we all know that we don't maximize, or there's we can walk at every at, I don't care what company you are. You even go to my pools and you'll find something that needs to be done, because we get so overwhelmed with work, or because we need to prioritize as business owners, and we're light on staff, and oh my god, there's this thing, I'm going to put this off, I'm going to put this off, I'm working on this, um, I was really geeked out about the hydraulics class, and I think the message came across to them, and they got it right. It wasn't just like a compliance thing. I need to know this because I should know this. It's, I need to know this, and this is how I can apply it in the backyards tomorrow, and
Well, it's
utilize that education.
exactly what you're explaining is like my current, what we're going through is like we're at that point, we're starting to get a lot of calls for maintenance and new accounts, and can you look at our pool and all this, and I'm being like extremely picky at this point. And we could be growing a lot faster, but I'm like, no, I want to like solidify this foundation we have. I want to look at our existing customers, how can we improve service for them, how can we improve our efficiency, and then how can we make it easier for the techs in the field? Because when they have pools that there's certain things that need to be addressed, but we're not, jumping on it and addressing it, and it just goes on. It's defeating to them, right? They're like, oh man, I got to go back to this pool, and it's giving me problems, and I'm just sitting there and I'm analyzing, and it's like we're at that point where we'll pick up one or two, and then we're like, okay, now like you said, look at the bottom five, and now I'm going back and I'm like, okay, I'm going to offer them the solution, and they can either take it or leave it, but we can't continue to have this pull on route that takes longer than it should or has more problems than it should. We're going to get it fixed up how it needs to be, and then ultimately they'll be happier. But if that's not what they want, then we can no longer service the pool. So I 100% agree, and I have that conversation a lot throughout the show of like people tend to get too focused on the volume of things. And Edgar, you always talk about, everyone's mindset is how many pools do you have, how many pools do you have, and it's like the reality is like what's your profit percentage, like that should be our focus.
Yep.
So
No,
Absolutely.
amen, brother. Amen.
So yeah, definitely big, huge shout out to Steve. You completely knocked it out of the park, and especially with a topic like that. And I know that you worked really hard to kind of work on the content and kind of be able to deliver it. But what I think was very cool, like John was saying, is a lot of the people that were in the first class completely came back for the second class. Like that's how engaged they were. And then it was amazing. Like I was talking to people about it, and people are like, "I'm going back to my pad, and I'm looking at the plumbing, and I'm looking at this, and the efficiency." And so great things
well,
out
and
there.
I want to add too, I had some builders come up to me and they're like, we want to change our perspective on like how we build pools, how can it help the service professional. And I thought that was just super cool. Like they were thinking more in terms of like finishes, skim replacement, things like that, on being just conscious that there is someone that has to take care of that pool long term. How can they build a better pool so that the long term care can be more successful?
No, you're
Uh,
right. And I had the same to me as well, Zach, and it was the same story. And that right there, that alone, makes it all worth it, right? Because that's what betters our industry, right? And that creating that understanding that there's a synergy, or there's a what is that word that Venom uses when he what's that word? You know what I'm talking about, right? No, on the somebody chime in. Um, Whatever, when Venom meets with what's his face, and they create a, I don't know, it starts with an S, but I can't think of the word. Edgar, I'm sure this is going to get edited out because I sound like an idiot right now, but whatever
was
it's called. God, something.
synergy.
No, it's not synergy. That's what I want to say, is synergy,
Uh,
but no, it's anyways. But um,
Symbiotic.
there you go.
there you go,
There you
symbiotic.
go.
There you
Now you know
go.
what I'm talking.
Did
Did
you go?
somebody say it on the
He's
chat?
over here googling it really quick. What did he say? What did he say?
Is
No,
that what it
Corey.
is?
Which?
Corey.
But yeah,
Oh, Corey said
perfect,
it on there.
right?
Yeah.
That's talking about, and it's doing that one relationship at a time, or one mind at a time, right? And imagine, that builder, now every pool that he's going to be making, he's going to be looking at it with a different lens, right? And not just so much as like how he thinks or their company thinks that it should be done, but just kind of there's much more to just building the pool and finishing it, right? And getting that last check. It's the upkeep of it and the serviceability of it. And I had many conversations with builders about it, saying, look, what's more important is not just the pool, but how the pool is perceived 5, 10, 15 years from now, because that pool is built, and memories are made or destroyed. Good things are thought of pools, or people start hating pools because they become money pits, or they're an eyesore, or the kid got hurt, or the kid's not having fun, or it's always a mess, and things like that. And then it starts to create a negative view or a positive view on that pool. And we might not feel it immediately, but this is where we get impacted 5 years, 10 years down the road, because if your family doesn't have that pool or a great experience within, your kids are probably going to have a pool when they grow up, right? Or have the chance to build one. They might be a little off put from doing it, but I'm going down a rabbit hole here. But
No,
That's the type of stuff that really matters, and we might not see an immediate impact right now, but down the road is where it really starts to pay off.
We're just
And
absolutely.
the cost as we become more aware. I looked at a pool the other day and there were 2 returns, and I'm like, we're gonna do nothing but just
Oh,
fight this
nightmare. Yeah.
pool, and we can't even take it on. And the more and more that people are getting educated and learning these things, at some point it's like they're either gonna get charged an arm and a leg, or they're not gonna have anyone that wants to service that pool.
look, dude,
They're
look,
gonna have to fix it, like, right?
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, that's our goal. Our goal is really to create that education so that when pool pros are going back there, they're not going in with the mindset of, I got to pick up, I got to pick up, I got to pick up, but more strategically, how am I going to look at that backyard? How am I going to look at that pool? Does this make sense, right? And then what happens is the numbers start to click, right? And you start to look, and it's not just always numbers, but Zach, you have employees, right? Is that going to kill the morale of that employee doing that pool? So, there's a lot of other factors that completely kind of kick
that's
into
actually a
that.
really
So,
good point there, Edgar. That is a very good point.
yeah, no,
Like,
it's
you
definitely,
nailed it right there on that one. Look, it is, because that's even talk about going down a exactly right. If it's going to be, we all have pools that we hate, and we eliminate more of those pools that people don't want to service, then we're going to have happier employees as well, right? And how does that unfold? But I wanted to say this: you unleashed a monster here, Edgar, because this was unscripted. Zach
and
him
he's
and I are
killing it,
going,
right?
and look, and you're barely. We can hear Edgar down there going, "Hey, I want to say something too," right? And we're talking over you.
So
This is
I'm
awesome.
which, by the way, I don't know if you caught it, right, but I basically am over here chatting with the peeps in the chat because
Yeah,
you two are over here going off into
yeah,
your rabbit holes, and
yeah.
so they were joking around, going, "Nerds stand up," and I'm standing up, and you
Right.
guys did. You're so into your conversation, you didn't even notice it. So, anyways, but I mean, there was so many good classes, John, Zach. I mean, Alicia completely knocked it out of the park. I had so when we do the Western show, they have volunteers and they're able to come and help, right? So they do the scanning, they do the handouts, they get the little review forms so that they could get good feedback. And I had one of the guys that was sitting with me in the back of the room scanning people, and he came to me and he goes, "Edgar, I have to tell you, I've been coming to this show for 10 years. 10 years. And Zach is trying to up you one, John. So Leslie came on and I said, "Good morning, Leslie." And he's like, "Hey, baby."
Oh, he's cupcaking.
Oh, he's cupcaking over here. Oh, wow. Oh, wait, that was to me. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Zach. Hey, what's up, baby?
Wow.
I actually had to follow up with not you, Edgar, because I knew
like
he was
like
gonna take it
like
that
I
way.
like I was gonna say that. Here I am giving you credit for Leslie, and you just kind of ruined the whole moment. So, you might want to type something else for her in here, and I won't take any credit for it. So, anyways, but he came to me and he said, "I've been attending this show for 10 years, and she is one of the best instructors that I've seen teaching out here at the show." And throughout the show, throughout the 3 days, every time I bumped into him, he kept coming back to me going, "Just absolutely love that class. I'm going to go give review on it, let them know at the show that she was just, so amazing." So, we had so many people that just completely knocked it out of the park. And Steve had a great point, and that was, to Steve, one of the thing was just that we were able to be in one room and everybody can continue to come back, right? Like for his class, for the hydraulics, they take one, they know that they want to take two, and they know, okay, I just need to come straight back to this room. So that was huge as well. But I mean, John, Zach, Alicia just knocked it out of the park.
She's so captivating, and when the show was down here, I took the guys to one of her classes, and they're like, "Oh, the lady from the class, oh, the lady from the class," and they took away so much stuff. But they went training down here, that was by far their favorite class, was the one Alicia did. So
Yeah, I agree, and it goes to what I was talking about earlier. When you find people that are passionate about a certain subject, or educating on something that they're well versed in and that they understand, it comes off this way, right? It's not a secret. You know, you could talk to me about, I don't know, if you want to start talking to me about cars, or you want to talk to me about like um, real estate. I might not be quite as interested, and I don't really know much about it. And I might, if you ask me to do something, I can. But when we start talking about stuff that I'm very passionate about, right, and a great understanding, and I feel confident delivering that information, then it makes it natural when you're up there. And that's how, I mean, Alicia's been doing this for a very, very long time. Everybody that we have has, as instructors, they're pros at what they do, and this is their love, and that's why we pick them. So I don't know why. In the past, it seems like a lot of trainings, and this isn't just the pool industry. I've been a part of many trainings in a different life as well, and it seems like they, in a corporate world, what they do is, the person who draws the shortest straw or whatever gets to do the presentation as the training, and it's not so much as like, okay, here's a PowerPoint, and okay, you're going to do the training this week, and then they're up there just reading it, and there's really not that passion or that love behind it. And I think we were able to capture that
The people that are passionate about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think that's the reason why we knocked it out the park. So
Yeah, absolutely. And a big, huge shout out to everybody. I mean, Todd was amazing. Brad Raypack. Oh
oh
my God,
yeah,
how engaging
yeah,
was Brad?
dude, you
Ah,
should have seen
I
Todd.
love.
You weren't, dude. Todd, I mean, Todd's great, right? Like,
Uh-huh.
and he's passionate, obviously, about the filtration system. And I think on the first one, I kind of took over a lot of the class just because I couldn't shut up, So I was sitting there talking, because I was really, really passionate about it. But you should have seen the second that he took. You weren't, I mean, that he instructed. You weren't there, but he was like in his element, dude. Like happy. I mean, he was going. He was digging it. We ran out of time, and I think we barely went through like a third of the content while we were teaching that class. And it was really cool watching Todd kind of come out and just be really engaging and having fun doing it. And I think everybody that was in that class too as well felt that passion, and they were truly listening and educating themselves. So it was just badass. And then
Yeah.
Jane too, oh my God, right?
Jamie
She,
completely knocked it out of
oh
the park. She had so many
dude,
people go by her booth to talk to her.
yeah, I mean, it's so cool, right? And talking about something goofy like enzymes, right? And phosphates. And, most people walk back there and they'll think, okay, this is a sales pitch, right? But it wasn't. And that was the
But
beauty
not
of
at all.
everything.
And theirs was
Nothing was.
generic.
Yeah. And it was just
You know,
talk,
they
educating,
weren't
saying, hey,
pushing
look.
products.
And that's the feedback that we got as well. And people were genuinely interested in it and understanding how them service pools,
Mhm.
right? How there's tools out there that make it easier for you to service a pool, and more importantly, make a more enjoyable swimming experience for the customers that use it. So
And we didn't get a chance. I really wanted you to talk about in that class, right? But
we
it's
didn't
like
need
everything,
you,
and we
just
ran out of
nailed
time.
it. Yeah,
Like I really wanted you to talk about, how you put it into play in your route in your business, right? So that people could get the understanding of here's the product, here's, the belief in using the product, and then here's how to put it into play on a daily basis into your business. But everybody was asking so many
yeah.
questions and doing all that stuff that there was like no time to
No,
even be able to get to that.
no,
It was
yeah,
absolutely.
it was perfect. It was
Yep.
absolutely perfect.
And then our boy Terry Arco. I mean, talk about passionate and going into that
Dude,
immediate water chemistry. What I was hoping that I would have done is we would have had it on video, because he just got into a groove and he was just
For
rapid
real.
fire, just boom, 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 and just dropping, gold.
and right. I mean, he was up there like boom, like
Yeah,
he was like up on the hilltop preaching.
yeah.
Right. And I was sitting there
He
going
almost
like,
had a little
go,
John
Terry,
going.
go. Dude, and he had his coffee in his hand, and I don't even
Yep.
think he took one sip of it the whole time. But he's sitting there waving it around, and coffee splashing and spilling, and he's putting his hands down, and he's like, dude, I was like, wow, dude, I feel it. I felt like I was
Yep.
at like a Tony Robbins like motivational speaking, event where
It
they're
totally was.
empowering. Yeah, and I was like, dude, Terry, you were killing it, bro. And I'm just sitting there like in awe, just listening to him, and I'm like, this is badass. Right.
Yeah.
Again, we're talking about chemistry, and we're
And the
talking
passion.
about, yeah. And it
It-
was
And it
just,
was all.
I mean, going back to like it's not pushing one thing over the other. Like I was able to take all the classes and listen and look at my program, and it wasn't like, oh, I have to make a choice, like we either need to shift gears over here or we need to shift gears over there. It was just all good, applicable information that you can take back and apply. And that's what I love. And that's how I learn. If it's like, oh, you need to do this 10-step program, and over here they're like, you need to do this 8-step program, and it just gets confusing to where you're like, which one's better? How do I do it? But just having the good raw information for me to be able to go, okay, this is how we're going to put it together. That's what was so awesome to me.
No,
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
I love Steve. So Steve came back to me. So Steve did the classes, and he came back, and then he's like, I'm gonna reshoot all the videos. So Steve came out to Dallas. We shot, and Steve's got a pretty awesome setup where he's up at Aquastar, right? Because he's got like all the equipment, he's got all that. So he went back and he's like, I'm gonna better it, and I'm gonna kind of reshoot. So he went back and he did a reshoot of all his content, and then right after the class, he comes back to me, guys, and he's like, with the questions that were asked, there were some great points to add into these slides. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to re-record those things, and I'm going to add those questions in there and add some slides, and then I'll send you the videos and we can all upload them back into the app. And that's, that's what you look for when you partner with people. You look for people that really kind of want to educate the pool pros out there and help them, and just be passionate about it.
Amen. And look, and a perfect to segue off of that and talk about recapping the course and wanting to make sure that they offer the best presentation, or the best, they provide the best information to our viewers and to the people that download the app. Brad, right? First, let's talk about. I mean, if there's anybody out there that
He's
can
so awesome.
that heaters, man, this dude is on point, right? It's not just I know heaters and I know Raypak, and then I can tell you I can read the textbook, right? Or anybody can read a manual, right? And say, okay, this is that. No. But really be able to understand it. And not only that, but everything else on the pad, not just be hyper focused or limited just on that and say, oh, and then you ask him a question about a pump or flow rate or something like that, and him not be able to answer it. Since he's been he owned a pool service company, right? He was in the he had his own pool service for many years before he started teaching for Raypak. So he had knowledge that not just as an instructor, as an engineer that understands only that product, but he has a good understanding of the industry and what we go through every day as pool service professionals in the backyard, and how to apply that to a heater. And then not just the Raypak heater, but any heater. We had slides of the JXI, Master Temps, Hayward heaters. It all applied to every single one of them, and he did just a phenomenal job breaking down the complexities of a heater. And afterwards, when I remember when we were sitting in front of the hotel, and he comes back and we had a conversation that night, and he's talking. I was really, I love the class. I love the engagement, the turnout. It was great. And I was kind of going over and thinking about some of the things I said. And I think I might have said something, or I misspoke on one thing from 300 or 3,000 parts per million. And he's like, I need to go back and I need to double check on the app, because I want to make sure everybody has the right information. Because if I misspoke, I want to make sure I clarified it. And we need to go back and do the research and then update things. So how engaged, and it wasn't just, okay, I'm here to just do, I did it and that's it, but want to continue with it and be a part of it and understand the importance of it. So kudos to Brad. And then not only that, Brad attended Steve's hydraulic class, right? And he got experts, and he's sitting there firing away at some questions, and he learned a couple things too in the class, and I learned things myself, and it was just pretty cool and amazing.
I learned one thing, John, in the class.
That
In the hydraulics 201, in the hydraulics 201. If Steve says he's going to throw you under the bus, he's throwing you under the bus no matter what.
Sure.
So
right.
Dude, thanks
for that, Steve.
I was sitting there. I was like, I better film this, and I pulled my phone out and I'm sitting there, and then I was like, I better step and help
But
out.
here's the thing. Here's the thing that Steve needs to remember, and that is that there's always a get even part. So you threw me under the bus, Steve. I've never thrown you under the bus, so I'm bringing the train, baby. We love you, Steve, brother. We love you. Michael from First Response, big huge shout out there to you. Corey's on here. Big shout out again. Leslie, thanks for jumping on. Michael, big huge shout out to you. He's saying that he was on the edge of his seat in that hydraulics class out there. So big shout out to you. Maria, big shout out to you. Gentlemen, let's do this. I want to talk a little bit about the Western Pool and Spa Show. We've been fired up for 45 minutes here. So let's do this. Let's take a word from our sponsors. When we come back, I want to talk a little bit more specifically about the Western Pool and Spa Show. We'll be right back.
The Hyper Pole from Ultimate Pool Tools is a pool care pole designed by pool professionals for pool professionals, featuring precision-crafted carbon fiber and stainless steel construction. Go to ultimatepooltools.com or Instagram at Ultimate Pool Tools. Pool pros have specific needs when it comes to general liability insurance. The SPPA program has you covered. With 3 tailored and customizable general liability options, SPPA makes it easy for pool pros to feel secure. Find out more and get covered at thesppa.com. Now available, Pool Invoice. Pool Invoice is a pool billing software created specifically for the pool service and repair industry. It's developed for our industry and only our industry. Pool Invoice is built with recurring billing in mind. You can print, email, text invoices, or even send via WhatsApp. You can add reoccurring or yearly charges, accept credits, and set up autopay. You can even see when customers have seen the invoice. It even has a customer portal where they can log in and see, print, and pay invoices. It has all your customers' information on one page, so you don't need to search through hundreds of invoices looking for the one you need. Just go to the customer profile and it's all at your fingertips. Created specifically for the pool industry, Pool Invoice. Now available at poolinvoice.com. Blu-ray XL is the power of minerals working for you. Reduce your overall chemical costs and labor up to 50% guaranteed. Whether you have 20 accounts or 20,000, Blu-ray XL's direct pricing and free shipping to the pool trade have you covered. Improving pool professionals' profit and work-life balance is what they do. Blu-ray XL, the real mineral purifier. Visit them at BluRayXL.com.
Blu-ray all day.
Aquastar's new pipeline cartridge filters, available in 2 sizes, deliver top-notch hydraulic efficiency along with best-in-class filtration performance, approaching that of DE filters. Uniquely designed, open pleat spacing means 100% of the media square footage is usable. And these claims are backed by NSF test results. Designed with the pro's time and comfort in mind, the patented double locking system improves safety and ease of access, making filter cleaners faster than ever before. Available now. Ask your supplier for pipeline filters today.
Natural Chemistry, a leader in specialty water care solutions for over 30 years, is proud to provide products that make pool service easier than ever before. Its unique enzyme formulations in Pro Series Pro Blend improve efficiency of your pool program while reducing frequency of filter cleaning and scum lines. Natural Chemistry is also well known for its wide variety of phosphate removal solutions that include a non-clouding formula in Phos-Free and extremely high-range removal with Pro Series Phos Remove or Phos-Free Max. Save time, save money, save work with Pro Series products. Stop sacrificing durability or efficiency with the help of Raypak's new Avia HD models that utilize NITEC, their exclusive industry-first technology. NITEC heat exchanger technology is Raypak's latest solution to superior strength and maximum efficiency when it comes to residential pool heating. With 900% more nickel compared to copper nickel in critical surfaces, NITEC creates an ideal surface to protect against scale formation and erosion without compromising on Avia's 84% thermal efficiency. Learn more at raypak.com/NITEC.
to the Pool Nation Live podcast. We're talking to John. We're talking to Zach. We continue our conversation with the Western Pool and Spa Show. So, John, tell us what you think about the Western Pool and Spa Show. Oh, there comes the bus, Zach. Woo,
Yeah.
woo, woo, woo. So it goes over that way. Yeah, that really sounds interesting, John. Yeah, no. What do you think, Zach? Do you agree with John, or
I agree with
or do you
John.
disagree with John? So for everybody that's listening, right? Because obviously you can't watch. So I'm assuming John ran to get some water, so we could run to the restroom. It was late, so we knew he wasn't on the screen, so we kind of threw him under the bus there. Take the focus off of me, John, and we had to put the
Right.
focus on you.
I knew I was like, damn it. I had to make a phone call.
Any chance that we get, John. So
Yeah.
Anyways. So I want to talk about the Western Pool and Spa Show. We've been talking about all the instructors and everything that we did, and just absolutely just loved our. But I wanted to kind of ask you guys what you liked the most about the Western show, about the whole. Zach, this was your first year. John and I had experienced it last year. So let me start with you. What were your thoughts on the Western Pool and Spa Show? You can go in the first year.
Well, you guys always talk about like it's a lot of the service or maintenance, depending on what side of the country you're on, pros out there. And I definitely felt that. And it was interesting because, some of the other shows you have a broad mix of professionals and things like that. But this was a lot of the guys that are in the trenches, getting it done, trying to grow businesses. And that was a lot of fun for me because I was on my feet all day. I mean, we were all on our feet all day long to the point where my feet were hurting every day by the time we left there. But just a lot of great conversations with a lot of professionals out there that, we're all in the same position. We're all trying to accomplish the same things. And I was learning a lot from the other people out there. And I want to give a big shout out to Carl, Pool Ninja, right? Yeah, so I mean, I was talking with Carl, we were chopping it up, and I learned a lot of good things from what he's got going on, and we were just bouncing back and forth, and that was really the experience with everyone there. So I thought it was a great show. It was much more crowded than I had anticipated. It was very busy. I mean, the floor was just packed all day long, and the education thing, I not being there before, I kind of wondered how it would go having the education before the floor, but I actually think that was a super awesome thing because you're not having to choose on missing out from one or the other. And so when you're taking the classes, like you really have an opportunity to, you don't have an agenda on the floor right now. You can sit down, you can focus, you can absorb information and learn. So I thought that was really cool as well.
My hat off to you, John. We got to give credit to Zach because he kind of had no idea, especially when it came to the training and all that, right? He had no idea. And we just kind of kept telling him, You'll be fine. Don't worry about it. And you know how Zach is. He needs to know that John is going to finish the sentence with the word, pickle. And that's his moment to jump in. And if John doesn't say the word pickle, he freaks out like, oh, it's not my turn. Is it my turn? Is it not my turn? And I kept saying, don't look at this. Don't worry about the PowerPoints. You'll kind of catch the flow as to where you need to. And think about it, John. He's so freaked out about kind of jumping in and he was just, it was just very natural. He just all of a sudden just stood up and started jumping in and I want to say something and just kind of flowed through. So you
In the
absolutely killed it.
classes, give that kudos to the people in the classes because that's what it was, just conversational, right? People would just jump in and make a point or have a question or whatever. And that's really how I always joke, you go, Zach, good morning. And it's like, it doesn't lead me into anything. So I'm like, oh, and I'm like, you have to say good morning. How are you doing? So then I'm answering a question, right? But in those classes, it was just, I was amazed at how engaged. I've taken tons of classes over the years, and it's really like you sit, you listen, you're taught, and at the end, it's like, does anyone have any questions? But doing it throughout the whole thing, it really just opened me and my thought process up. So I enjoyed it. And I mean, I even told John at one point, like, I'm having fun with this.
He came and told me that. He's like, Zach just came and told me that he was having fun with this. John's got
You don't have
not
to
no
wait.
kudos for you. No kudos for you from John.
No,
Did
I
you
am.
make him mad?
No, I think what I'm just like flabbergasted that I'm the only one who's wondering why when you picked a word, you picked pickle.
Because you're the one with the dirty. You're the only one in the room with the dirty mind.
No,
That's
dude,
why.
I'm not even talking
That's
about.
why.
What do you now? Now you're taking it to a whole nother level, bro. I wasn't even
Here
going
comes
there.
the bus again.
Right? Wow. Look, I'm just trying to. That's a whole nother episode. Us talking about your choice of words and how you came to that. But you know, I can't go
all
on
I'm gonna
until
say
you.
is all I'm gonna say is feed. You
Right.
need to see John's feed.
Look, wow, you're crazy. You know, look. Now I know. Now it all makes sense to me. Every out and about, and I go out to, we're out to dinner, right? And I go out and I'll go have a cigarette, I'll go to the restroom. I come back, you put my phone down because you're sitting there talking to it, right? You know what I mean? That's what you're doing,
that's a
bro.
good idea.
That's what you're doing. You know what I mean? That's what you're doing.
I feel like Edgar has some like underlying trauma from you, John.
Right.
It's never a dull moment with him. Are you kidding me?
Right. So you know, I'm gonna let you slide on this one because usually I won't say anything until you remember you talk and you go, hey, okay, John, what did you think? And I just sit here awkwardly. You say that, but I'm just
gotcha. I forgot
that's
to
what
say.
it
What do you
was.
think? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So
John, what do you think?
Oh, perfect. What do I? Well, Edgar. Not quite sure where to take this conversation right now because we're everywhere. But back to the Western show, right? Look, it was. Well, I want to correct what you said, and people said that this is our second year. No, second year as instructors. You know, being there, having a booth. We've been at the Western show for many years. We go every year. And I know Edgar back in the day, back in the 30s when you were doing pools in Orange County.
Wow.
You were at the inauguration, right?
Damn.
So
the inauguration.
The inauguration, right, or whatever it's called. That.
That was a good one, John.
Look, so in all seriousness, and I talked a little bit about it at the beginning, and I know I raved about it on the live, but the show was just it was perfect. It really was, and everything kind of came together really well. The staff and everybody involved behind the scenes that makes the show happen. So much work, you know, that we just don't see. That has to take place in order for all this to come together. And they did an amazing job this year, and they do it every year. And I think being in a different position or looking at it from a different lens, like I say, we get to appreciate certain things that we weren't. You know, it's kind of like an employee boss thing, right? When you're working somewhere and you're going about your day, there's always something you're gonna this. I wish this was better, or maybe this or that, or why is he actually do that, or if they did this or if they did that. When it's from the outside looking in, it's easy to criticize, right? You know, or it's easy to think that better, or you just don't quite understand. But when you're a part of it and you get to see the inner workings and what takes place, just like when you become a business owner and a boss, and now you're the boss and you have employees, you get that aha moments and that understanding. Okay, it's a little different. It's not quite as easy, right? As just saying, or I would have done it like this, or why don't you do it like this, or why don't you pay me this, or why don't you pay them there, why don't you spend money here, and but being a part of the show on the other portion of it was just it was humbling, and to see all the effort that goes into it from people that really, are doing it strictly from their love and passion for the industry. And much respect to all the vendors out there, and especially the ones that are also educating and showing. At the end, it's a lot of work. I was having conversations with our friends across the booth at ASA, and I'll say, man, I got a lot of respect for you guys. It's tough, you get up early in the morning, you're there like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning to prep for it, and then you're there all the way until 7, 8 o'clock at night, and just like nonstop. Right there, educate and do what you need to do, talking and conversating, and then hitting the show floor, and then doing the same thing over and over and over again. It takes, mentally, it's exhausting. And if it wasn't fun, right? And if we're having such a good time, I could see how it could become a drain on people. It's just really tough, dude, to do it. So I have a whole different perspective on shows and what's involved with it, and the inner workings behind. I just want to say that my last point is the level of engagement from the participants there, and the mindset, and the just the overall attitude of everybody was just, because to have so many people there take the time off of work, right? Or spend time away from their family. We know how hard everybody works to come out there, to walk the floor, to go out there and to educate themselves, and to be a part of something so they can better themselves, so they can provide better for their families, and just seeing the passion behind everybody was, like I said, was very inspiring. And it's the fuel that we need, for us, so that we can continue doing what we're doing, right? Because everybody needs some sort of uh justification, or somebody, is it working? Are people listening? Are we helping? Is it worth it? Are people, because a lot of time goes into doing this, and not just us, but everybody out there, vendors, other educators. It's like, they need some form of validation, and the validation that we need, the currency that makes us work, is the people that want to learn, right? And the people that act with, saying, hey, look, you made a difference. If there's just one person that you meet at that show that says, hey, I listened to what you said, I was a part of your class, I listen to your podcast every single day, your lives, and I just want to thank you and appreciate you. That makes it all worth it, right? Every single thing that we've done and do, and we've had this conversation before, all of us, that's what drives us and motivates us. And we had multiple, and it was very awkward and humbling at the same time, because we're a little weird like that. We're bad at taking, any kind of compliments, or any kind of, we don't like to talk about ourselves. We more like to talk about what we love to do in the industry and the people that are part of it. But we had some very good conversations with people, and it was, man, and it just made it all worth it. And if we had another show next week or next month, I mean, I'm ready, right? Because it was like,
Did
wow.
you hear that, Zach? He says he's ready.
I am. I'm ready, because look, I truly believe when I say we, I don't mean we as us, Pool Nation. We as an industry are making a difference, right? We are moving in the right direction. I can truly see that now. It's no longer that distant dream or hope that maybe one day we're going to be able to break free of these chains that we've had, or these issues that we've had to deal with. But we are actually making progress, right? And we're moving in the right direction, and coming a snowball effect, and more people get involved in educating people, and understanding the importance of it, and with just a positive attitude, opposed to that guarded, old school, grumpy old pool man mentality that we've had in the past, that we've been trying to break through. So
Yeah.
that's how I feel.
Zach, what about you?
Are you gonna have a mask again?
Yeah.
You asked me twice.
Because you were really passionate about it, and Zach and
You
I
want
were
him
talking.
to one up me?
What about you? Do you see? Did you see that same, you know, passion from the pool pros? Did you see that energy?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, I mean, like John said, that's what fuels me. And being a part of it, like we're all like a collective, right? And seeing how crowded the floor was, seeing how engaging everyone, seeing that desire to learn and to better ourselves, to me, I mean, the pool boys is going to reap the benefits of that, and the other people in our area are going to reap the benefits of that. And there's more interest in getting deep and dirty into the science and getting, and not just chemistry, but the science of numbers and financials and running a business. And I think we're watching our industry become more professional, more business minded, and it's across the spectrum. So to me, that's awesome. Because what I want to see, and this is one of my things, I want to see pool technicians paid more. I want to see more career opportunities. I want to see businesses where you have HR professionals on staff and you have bookkeepers and you have marketing professionals, and we're building these companies. And when we started, and I have to go back, when we started, we were very isolated. Like we didn't have a network, we didn't have all these people, we didn't have all this exposure. So I'm sure some of this was going on elsewhere, but you're seeing it just in general now across the board. And to me, that's very exciting.
Yeah, I think when we started, we obviously wanted to make a difference with the industry, right? We wanted to better the industry as much as we could. I'll be honest with you, I didn't think that we would see kind of the enthusiasm that was going on through that show. There's just like this sprinkle of magic that was just kind of going through the show, right? Because every show is the same. You have people showing products, you have people coming to look at the products. And you do one show, you kind of do 1,000 of them. It's the same routine of what happens at a show. And I've been trying to figure out specifically what it was, right? But everybody's response is the same thing: is there was just something going on at that show that had people fired up, that had people excited, and just trying to figure out what it is, right? And us wanting to do our little piece of it to better the industry. And I'll be honest with you guys, now my mindset starts to go, how can we make our industry better than the electrical, better than the plumbing, better than all of that? Do we have the opportunity to start to create that vision and go share it with the big companies, right? Not just us, but the manufacturers and everybody. And how do we as an industry elevate our industry to be exactly like you're saying, Zach, like be that big, because there's an opportunity there. So my mind starts to spin, and then that's kind of when I go crazy and I start to call you guys and go, hey, I have an idea.
And I've
But I was super excited. Just the energy alone in that show was just, I haven't seen anything like it.
I think we're all opening up more. Like when I used to go to the shows and I would walk the floor and I would have my backpack and my notepad, like it was me. Like I would learn about some products and learn about that, but I'm watching people just in general have conversations and relate more on some of the things they're experiencing in their business, and they're experiencing the same thing, and what are some of the things you've done and this and that, and then just friendships being built, relationships being built, like people talking about things that aren't even pool related. And you're just watching this engagement just happening everywhere on the floor. And I mean, I think social media probably has a big part of that compared to when I was walking the floor. Um, it just doesn't feel so isolated. Like we're all in this together. We all have the same road bumps and roadblocks, and let's talk about how we overcame it.
You
Seeing
took
seeing the last, more people want, like in the past, everybody was kind of so guarded, and we talk about it, but it's true. There was a lot more people willing to share the successes, but also share the failures, right? And I think that's huge.
yeah, you nailed it. It was my point, but I want to word it a little differently. It was, imagine when you go into, it felt like shows before felt like um you lived in your own little bubble. You're isolated, like you were saying, and when you walked into a big room of people that you didn't know, right? Imagine yourself. picture yourself, forget about a show, but picture yourself walking into a room full of 500 or 1,000 people, and you only know a couple people there. What do you tend to do? You feel you're a little more cautious, right? You're more observant. You're not as talkative. You're maybe seeking out the people that you do know and then finding them and having a conversation with them. But other than that, you're not really feeling as comfortable. Where I think that, and now on the flip side, imagine walking into a room full of 1,000 friends, right? That that you feel comfortable talking to, that you interact with on a daily basis, not just in physical form, but on via social media and Facebook and chats and phone calls, where it truly felt like we were a family. All of us were together, and it felt like we knew each other, and we had these conversations with people, and it was like, hey, I'm talking friend to friend. And to take it a little bit further, I think as far as like the education portion of it, if you walk into a room, imagine walking into a room talking about advanced not chemistry, but advanced calculus and or the inner workings of Pluto and the core magna or whatever, and you have no idea what the hell's going on there, and people are there, you're kind of feel like, this isn't really I really don't understand. I'm not very confident on the subject, so I'm not going to engage, because that's human nature. But now a room where people are talking about pools and chemistry and things that you are comfortable with, and now you feel much more confident because you're educated in it. You feel you want to be a part of the conversation because you feel like you have something you can contribute, right? Or an experience you can share with somebody. So I think that was more of the change in mentality. There was just like everybody felt more confident in their abilities, who they were, and they felt like they were talking with friends, and that's how people treated them. And there was no drama, right? Everybody was there to better themselves and to have fun, and it was really cool. And I can't believe we've been talking about this for over an hour now, about the same, but that's how badass it was there. And it was just, like I said, if there was another show next week, I couldn't wait to go there again, because it was fun shaking hands and talking to everybody and running back and forth. I couldn't even go have a cigarette sometimes. When I went to leave, I couldn't make it past the aisle, because I got stopped by so many people talking to them and having engaging, meaningful conversations. And not just people that listen to us, but, other reps and manufacturers. And when you walk by booths, and even the reps were like engaging and grabbing you and talking, instead of just being there and sitting there like this, kind of feeling uncomfortable. They wanted to be there too, and they wanted to have a conversation with you. So it was awesome.
Definitely a great show for sure. Hey guys, let's do this. Let's take our final word from our sponsors. When we come back, Zach, John, I want to get your final thoughts.
The Hyper Pole from Ultimate Pool Tools is a pool care pole designed by pool professionals for pool professionals, featuring precision-crafted carbon fiber and stainless steel construction. Go to ultimatepooltools.com or Instagram at Ultimate Pool Tools. Pool pros have specific needs when it comes to general liability insurance. The SPPA program has you covered. With 3 tailored and customizable general liability options, SPPA makes it easy for pool pros to feel secure. Find out more and get covered at thesppa.com. Now available, Pool Invoice. Pool Invoice is a pool billing software created specifically for the pool service and repair industry. It's developed for our industry and only our industry. Pool Invoice is built with recurring billing in mind. You can print, email, text invoices, or even send via WhatsApp. You can add recurring or yearly charges, accept credits, and set up autopay. You can even see when customers have seen the invoice. It even has a customer portal where they can log in and see, print, and pay invoices. It has all your customers' information on one page, so you don't need to search through hundreds of invoices looking for the one you need. Just go to the customer profile and it's all at your fingertips. Created specifically for the pool industry, Pool Invoice. Now available at poolinvoice.com. Blu-ray XL is the power of minerals working for you. Reduce your overall chemical costs and labor up to 50% guaranteed. Whether you have 20 accounts or 20,000, Blu-ray XL's direct pricing and free shipping to the pool trade have you covered. Improving pool professionals' profit and work-life balance is what they do. Blu-ray XL, the real mineral purifier. Visit them at BluRayXL.com.
Blu-ray all day.
Aquastar's new pipeline cartridge filters, available in 2 sizes, deliver top-notch hydraulic efficiency along with best-in-class filtration performance, approaching that of DE filters. Uniquely designed, open pleat spacing means 100% of the media square footage is usable. And these claims are backed by NSF test results. Designed with the pro's time and comfort in mind, the patented double locking system improves safety and ease of access, making filter cleaners faster than ever before. Available now. Ask your supplier for pipeline filters today.
Natural Chemistry, a leader in specialty water care solutions for over 30 years, is proud to provide products that make pool service easier than ever before. Its unique enzyme formulations in Pro Series Pro Blend improve efficiency of your pool program while reducing frequency of filter cleaning and scum lines. Natural Chemistry is also well known for its wide variety of phosphate removal solutions that include a non-clouding formula in Phos-Free and extremely high-range removal with Pro Series Phos Remove or Phos-Free Max. Save time, save money, save work with Pro Series products. Stop sacrificing durability or efficiency with the help of Raypak's new Avia HD models that utilize NITEC, their exclusive industry-first technology. NITEC heat exchanger technology is Raypak's latest solution to superior strength and maximum efficiency when it comes to residential pool heating. With 900% more nickel compared to copper nickel in critical surfaces, NITEC creates an ideal surface to protect against scale formation and erosion without compromising on Avia's 84% thermal efficiency. Learn more at raypak.com/NITEC.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Pool Nation Live podcast. We are talking to Mr. Zacharias. We're talking to John. We're talking about the Western Pool and Spa Show. And gentlemen, let me get your final thoughts, Zach, so that you don't feel like I threw you for a loop and threw you under the bus. Let me get your final thoughts.
Well, I feel like I really channeled my inner John today. It went
You
all right,
did.
right?
It went awesome. Are you kidding
All
me?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
well,
don't get used to it.
yeah, let's ease into this a little bit. But in all
next week, no script whatsoever. Not even during the show.
Hey, that's an idea. That might go in a lot of different directions though. So you got to keep the bumpers up a little bit. But I had a really good time at the Western. I was really impressed with the turnout, and I'm excited. Like I came back fired up. I'm motivated, not just for, Pool Nation things and industry things, but for the pool boys things. I mean, I see a lot of improvements we can make. We have a lot of opportunities to become much better than we are currently, and to me, that's exciting. So, um, I'm ready for this year and to get at it. And I want to thank everyone that stopped by the booth or in the classes or in the hall or whatever, and just had words of encouragement and support. Because, like John was saying, I know Edgar feels the same way. I mean, that really motivates us to keep on this path and keep going. And it's nice to get a little bit of feedback and see, what is resonating and also what we can do better or what, and other things we can work on. So, and then the last thing I want to say is I just want to encourage everyone to download the app, take a look at it. I've talked to several people that I'm like, hey, you got to check out the app. And they're like, yeah, okay, when I get to it. And then once they actually look at it, they're like, holy crap, like this thing is awesome. And I do truly feel and believe that this is going to be a great tool for a lot of people out there. There's a lot of great information on it. So even if you're a little skeptical, just take a minute, look at it, see what you think. So
Absolutely. And we want to thank everybody that's downloaded the app. I mean, we're almost at 1,000 downloads already with all the pool pros out there jumping on, and we appreciate all the support. So, John, final thoughts?
Zach, you nailed it, brother.
Right? He's just like
this was perfect, right? And I enjoyed this a lot more because I think maybe it was because Edgar didn't get to talk as much, and you're trying to butt in, trying to interrupt us having a conversation. I think that was the highlight of the podcast for me. So Edgar, I don't know if I think next podcast, Edgar's going to send you a script. Make sure you get it a week in advance or something like that, so you have time to prep for it. Because I think Edgar's feeling a little left out. He kind of stole the show on this one, and
I think I'm gonna have to create a dashboard on the podcast thing that shows a graphic of who speaks the most, so that we can kind of keep track
we
of
know
that.
where that's gonna land.
Yeah.
Put
Oh,
the
what does
artificial
that
put some
mean?
artificial intelligence in there to mute the mics.
Right. Look, this my final thoughts is I've already expressed my thoughts on the show. Was when is the next show, right? Where are we going to next? I know we have the international down in November, but I think there's a couple other shows prior to that, right? That maybe we should explore going to, because I'm pumped up.
Yeah, I think the next one is the Pie Show in
Pie Show.
September. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
November, and then you go, I think, Atlantic City, and then after Atlantic City, I think it's the Southeast, and then right after the Southeast is the Florida show, and then back into the Western.
Yeah, we're going to be at a lot more shows this year, and I'm looking forward. Yeah, so that's it. I'm done.
All right. Well, I appreciate everybody jumping in. Got a great week this week. We have Brad coming into town for a podcast, kind of talk to Brad with Raypack. And then on Friday, we also have Kathy coming up from Canada. Looking forward to that podcast right there. So it'll be a little bit of a crazy week, but stay tuned. We will stream live the podcast on Wednesday morning. That'll be the one with Brad. And then we'll also stream live with Kathy on Friday. So we got a full week, boys. John's looking at me like,
we're going live on Wednesday. I thought we were not going live.
Oh, no, we're going live. This is Brad. Are you kidding me? Like Brad could drop it. So
Got it. I'll be there.
Like it was
that
an
was
option.
did you see his face? It kind of went like that, almost like processing for just a second, and then now he's got it recorded. He's like, okay, I'll be there. So
I'll be there.
anyways,
All
all
right,
right,
guys.
gentlemen, thanks so much. Everybody, thanks for listening. We will catch you next week. Have a great one. Have a great weekend, guys. Bye.
See you guys.
Later.
Thanks for listening to the Pool Nation podcast, a member of the Pool Nation family. You can listen to us live every Friday here at 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, and 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. You can find us at Pool Nation or poolnationpodcast.com, on Facebook, or on Instagram at pool.nation. And to find more info about Pool Invoice, the billing software built specifically for the pool industry, go to poolinvoice.com. Before you go, this is what the pool industry has been waiting for. PoolmanUniversity.com. It's the first platform dedicated to learning the swimming pool service and repair industry. A pool service community where you can connect and find videos on business, service, water chemistry, and repairs. See you there at PoolmanUniversity.com.